All right, folks, so fun little video, but this is me actually training. But I decided to modify my training just a little bit in context. I'll be doing more volume, and I've done other exercises. We'll do some others to make up for this, but today we're gonna do a little bit of learning about failure, okay? Failure comes in all kinds of forms. There's eccentric failure, concentric failure, technical failure. Technical failure is when you can no longer do another repetition with good technique. Or more specifically, when you attempt to do a repetition with perfect technique and fail. If you grind the technique a little bit and get twerky and don't do good technique, that's not technical failure. If you hit failure after your technique sucks already, that's something else. That's more sort of better appropriated as absolute failure. Okay, so we're only doing technical failure here in this video, but we're gonna do 3 different sets. These are real world sets because technical failure has a couple of subcategories, specifically on the degree of psychological arousal. So, first type of failure is what you commonly see in folks that aren't used to the gym, newbies, and some individuals that just don't have kind of the psychology of really pushing themselves. Maybe genetically they do, but no one's ever sort of rooted them into using it. For them, failure, or in this video, what I'm gonna be demonstrating is 0 RIR, because we're doing a sort of squat exercise. I'm not getting pinned in this fucking machine and dying. 0 reps in reserve means I don't think I'll be able to do another rep with good technique. But if I'm sort of this group 1 type of failure, essentially people here fail roughly when the exercise gets pretty hard and starts to really push on them. They kind of go, I'm working pretty hard. I think I might have one more. They kind of get a little scared, a little reserved, and then they only get a certain number of reps. This is not the best way to train. There is a better way to go to failure that I'll demonstrate in the next set. So let's get to it. I'm gonna demonstrate, watch my rep speed, watch my technique, watch my facial expressions and grunting, try to keep it as real as possible. Type 1 failure of like nothing too impressive, and I could be working harder. Here we go. So that was it. 0 RIR, where because I'm just not trying that hard, I may think it's 0 RIR, but really there's not a lot of effort going on. And a lot of times people don't know this. It's not like they're slacking. Sometimes they are. But this is to generate, slacking is a whole different discussion. This type of close to failure training is to essentially sort of show to you guys that some people are very genuine. They do think they're very close to fail, but there's not a lot of arousal. There's not a lot of focus. To take someone from this kind of failure, push them into the more correct one, take some nodding, some prodding, some pushing. If you're a personal trainer or a training partner or a coach, when you see someone chronically getting to this kind of failure, tell them, listen, let me know when you think you're close to fail. They'll let you know. And then right when they almost finish that last rep, you get in their face and you say, hey, you have one more, let's go. And they usually are too frightened to know what the hell's going on. And they figure, okay, I could argue with this guy, I could rack and argue, or I could just do it in the rep. They do it and it works. And you go, one more. And you do it another one and do it again. So now I got 6 reps on that set. I would have done 8 if someone was in my face. Stop there, that's good enough. Next time they come into the gym with you, maybe the time after that, push them a little further. Maybe to 9 reps, maybe to 10. Eventually, they're gonna get into a place where short of going nuts, they're actually reaching very close to fail. That's where most training happens. When Coach Greg talks about most people don't train hard enough, he's got a point there because a lot of people, I don't know if it's most, a ton of people stop, for me was about the 6 reps. Tough, shit is definitely pushing back, reps are slowing down, but God damn it, if I focused, I could get some more. This next set will be a focus set. I'm gonna get my mind right. I'm not losing my mind. I'm not going to dark places with childhood trauma, but I'm expressing my best abilities in a focused, regimented manner, and I'm really gonna push myself. This is the kind of failure you want to reach close to and actually get the best results. Let's get it, and let's see how many reps I get. So that was 9 or 10. 9 or 10. Way more than 6. Definitely hit the spot more. One thing you guys might notice is my rep speed was much more consistent because I was trying from rep 1. Only when I started to hit my physical limits did the last rep really start to slow down on me. With the first set of 6, the easy one, you notice the last 3 reps weren't that fast. Because a lot of people who train like that, they sort of feel the burden of the load and they accept it psychologically. They say, oh, this feels heavy. Am I really so interested in trying to move it a lot? No. So they'll let it slow them down. A very focused person will proceed until physiology slows them down. And that's like, oh, 1 rep in reserve, 0 reps in reserve. Very tough. Next. So, real quick. That second type of failure we just did, or close to failure, that is how you should train pretty much all the time. Beginners can train with the first type. As they grow into intermediates, they should progress into that second type. Intermediates should be training that hard or harder. But there is another level we're going to go to on this. Sounds like I'm narrating a Dragon Ball Z Ascension episode. This level is one in which you uncork something inside yourself that you normally keep corked in civil society. Some of you have it, some of you don't. A lot of it is to do with not so pleasant memories or ideas. And you go to a place where you dip into a part of your animalistic, rage-prone psychology that results in a few things. 1, a massive increase in neural drive. 2, a massive increase in performance. 3, a massive increase in stimulus per set. But unfortunately, 2 other things. An unreal amount of fatigue and a pretty decent enhancement of the risk of injury. Should you train like this third way all the time? No. You have 2 choices. As a hypertrophy trainee, you can either train like this never, or maybe once a mesocycle at most, on your final week when you're tired, you're beat up, you're sore, you may go at least somewhat into this dark place to take out those few reps. Mind you, all of the studies on failure training, most of the people don't go to the dark place. They go sometimes to place number 1, sometimes to place number 2, often number 2. So they're good, they're reliable, and thus you can count on them to structure your training. So when people say 3 reps in reserve is really good, so is 2, so is 1, so is 0, mostly we're talking about that type 2 kind of failure. This type 3, close to failure, very not studied, and I would bet it causes so much fatigue that regular training with it is not productive because the fatigue quickly escalates and you can't perform anymore. It's mentally very draining, which would be okay if it was worth it, but it's probably not. But at the end of a mesocycle, if you're locked in, if your technique is good and you never compromise, you can lock in and go to your special place. Now for me, my special place, all kinds of interesting childhood shit. And for some reason, because I'm Russian and I spent up to year 7 in Russia, the Russian language specifically gets me going in some kind of primordial way. So I will be talking to myself in Russian very likely. So enjoy that shit. Remember I got like 9 or 10 reps in the other one? We'll post in below what I actually got. I can't count. We'll see how many I get this one. Let's give it a shot.
Блядь, сука, ёбаный. Сделаем.
Well, that was fun. So, got 6 reps, feeling the weight. I got 10 reps when I was focused. And with psychotic childhood memories, I got me 15. Definitely a difference. And I mean, I kind of couldn't use my legs right after. You'll notice I'm sitting now. So my shit is all wobbly and feels weird. That is a hard set. If I had to train like that all the time, I'd lower my volume a lot, but I don't think it would be worth it from a stimulus to fatigue ratio perspective. Every now and again, great idea. All the time, not so much. So, mostly, if you work with beginners, you want to level them up into that second style, focused training. If you're in that second style, you're golden. Every now and again, explore a little bit into that third to see if you're being realistic with your second. Because if without a whole lot extra arousal, you can get 2 or 3 reps, shit, then you could be training a little harder without a ton of arousal. And maybe at the end of every mesocycle, when you're really feeling in the dumps, turn it up for at least a set or 2. Go to that nasty childhood place maybe you have. I definitely do. Charlie for sure has. Jared's made of that shit. And it's cool and it works, but it's not something you do all the time. Give that some thought. I'm gonna go finish my workout. See you next time.